Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are not.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oops, hold on. A motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 16th and the budget hearing of May 13th.
Move.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to approve the following consent agenda, 3.1 through 4.1. All those, motion,
I'll move.
I'll second.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That brings us to our first community participation. If anybody would like to come forward, you're more than welcome to do so. Please remember our policy. Seeing nobody jump up on their seat, I'm going to move on. There is a point later in the meeting if you'd like to. It brings us to personnel. I need a motion to approve the appointment of McKenna LaSalle as a tenured elementary teacher effective July 1, following successful completion of the probationary period as recommended by the elementary principal and superintendent.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations. I need a motion to approve the appointment of Michael Jones as a tenured social studies teacher effective July 1, following the successful completion of the probationary period as recommended by the secondary principal and superintendent.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I need a motion to approve the appointment of Tanya Valacourt as tenured science teacher effective July 1, following the successful completion of the probationary period as recommended by the secondary principal and superintendent.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. I need a motion to approve the appointment of Jessica Ames as a tenured reading teacher effective July 1st, following the successful completion of a probationary period as recommended by the elementary principal and superintendent.
Move. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. I need a motion to approve the appointment of Denise Whalen as a tenured art teacher effective July 1st, following the successful completion of the probationary period as recommended by the elementary principal and superintendent.
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. Congratulations on a well-deserved milestone in your career. Thank you for your dedication to our students and to our community. Once again, congratulations on this remarkable achievement. We would like to present you with a gift and certificate, and we'll do so now and take a picture. So please hold for that.
I don't know where that
I can't.
Okay.
Should I?
Okay.
Video, just leave the video running. Denise, congratulations. Thank you. Here, congratulations. Hey. Yes. Congratulations. You want to go for a picture?
pictures.
I know.
Don't we have like a?
Look at her first. All right, now me. 1, 2, 3. Smile. I mean, I did for you. Gutenberg. Good. Wait, that's not true. Congratulations. Well deserved. Yep, down we go.
Thank you all so much.
Kim, are you
And-
staying or?
And thank you for your friends and family for being here with you. We're on 6.2.
Sorry, Lane. Congratulations to everybody. Great job.
We need a motion to approve the recommendation of the committees on special education and preschool special education.
I'll second.
Any discussion would be in an executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to accept the following monetary donations with sincere appreciation and increase the budget by these amounts as recommended by the business manager and superintendent.
Second.
Discussion?
Thank you so much for your continued support.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All those in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to approve the lease of one school bus to the Village of Hamilton Recreation Commission for the use during summer 2025, as recommended by the superintendent and contingent upon the following conditions.
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to approve the resolution regarding the annual organizational meeting. You have to read this whole thing. I think I do, right? Okay, so get ready, because me and my whereases are coming up. Whereas, Section 1707(1) of the Education Law sets the date of the Union-Free or Central School District's annual organizational meeting for the first Tuesday in July, or if the first Tuesday in July is a holiday, on the first Wednesday of July. And whereas the meetings of the Board of Education policy number 2020 sets the date of the district's organizational meeting in accordance with Section 1707(1) of the Educational Law. And whereas Section 1707(2) of the Educational Law grants the Board of Education of a Union-Free or Central School District the authority to adopt a resolution determining that the date of the district's annual organization meeting will be held at any time within the first 15 days of July. And whereas the Hamilton Central School District has determined that the district's 25-26 annual organizational meeting should be held on a day other than the date established in Section 1707(1) of Education Law. Now, therefore, be it resolved, 1, that notwithstanding Policy 2020, the date of the 2025-2026 annual organizational meeting shall be on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025.
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? Well, my whereases worked out.
They were very nice.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to approve the following resolution authorizing the execution of the superseding employment contract with William Dowland, Superintendent.
Move.
I'll second.
Any discussion would be an executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
A resolution to approve the collective bargaining agreement within the HTA. And more whereas. Whereas the negotiating teams for the Hamilton Central School District and the Hamilton Teachers Association, HTA, have reached a tentative agreement on the terms of the new collective bargaining agreement. And whereas the Hamilton Teachers Association has ratified the tentative agreement. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Board of Education of the Hamilton Central School District hereby ratifies and approves the terms of the collective bargaining agreement between the district and the Hamilton Teachers Association, effective July 1. Did I miss something?
No, I think that date's wrong. It says through June 30th, 2025.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
It should be 2020.
Yep.
Between the district and the Hamilton Teachers Association, effective July 1, 2025 through, updated, June 30th, 2029, and authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the final agreement on behalf of the district.
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Great.
I just want to
Good
thank,
work, everybody.
yeah, I just want to thank both teams for trying the new process, for working together to get to a common agreeing place. It really shows a lot from the teachers and from the district that you can get together and work through hard things and do so in such a great way. So thank you for your work on that and for coming to an agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to approve the nomination of Jennifer Jones, member of the Hamilton Board of Education, by the Board of Education of the Hamilton Central School Districts for the Everett R. Dwyer Award for Distinguished School Board Service.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Congratulations.
I just wanted to say, like, I'm extremely humbled and honored by this. It's really been an honor to serve on this board, and I will continue advocating for our students, our faculty, our staff, and our community. And thank you. It was a really big shock when I read that, so thank
The
you.
amount of time that you put into the advocacy and
Yeah.
all the other extras that you do on this board, this is a well-deserved honor.
Thank you. Thank you all very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you
And
for
thank
your
you to the
service.
district.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That brings us to information and correspondence, and I get to stop talking and turn it over to Bill.
A couple of updates. If you've been on campus, you've seen the bus garage and the damage to the bus garage. We had a nonprofit use our facility, and the U-Haul bus, or the U-Haul truck that they were using, drove into the bus garage and hit the overhead doors, and quite a bit of damage. We immediately called our insurance agent. They came, they assessed. We brought a structural engineer and insurance adjuster. There is structural damage to the area that is fenced off. And so the contractors have built a temporary wall within the bus garage and fenced off the exterior, removed all the brick. That was the biggest concern, was the brick falling and creating a safety hazard. So that has been removed. We're waiting for the adjuster and architect and structural engineer to give us what to do next. So we're kind of on hold. Unfortunate, but insurance has assigned a claim number. It'll be taken care of through insurance, and we just don't know what our next steps will be at this point.
Was anybody hurt?
Nobody was hurt, thankfully, and we'll just proceed under the direction of the insurance company and what will have to happen as far as structurally. The rest of the building's fine, it's just limited to that one area. Thankfully, it was isolated just to that one I-beam bent back, but the I-beam runs this way, and thankfully the structural integrity beams run this way, so the building's fine. So, dealing with that. And an update on the cell phone ban. So the state budget was passed, and part of the state budget is an amendment that all school districts within New York State must adopt a cell phone restriction policy. And there's certain criteria within that policy that needs to be identified. I'll just share with you. The recently enacted law restricts internet-enabled device use by students during the school day, including classroom time, passing time, lunch, and study hall. So it's bell to bell. Students will not be able to have their phones during passing, during lunch, anything. From the time they walk in to the time they leave. No access. But there's some exclusions that I'll get to. Internet-enabled devices include any smartphone, tablet, smartwatch, or other device capable of connecting to the internet and enabling the user to access content on the internet, including social media applications. The law does not regulate internet-enabled devices supplied by the school district that are used for educational purposes. We must adopt a policy no later than August 1st of 2025. So the policy committee, I've reached out to both Labor Relations and NYSBA to get a sample policy for us to start reviewing. There are some exceptions to the ban. They are when a student has been authorized by a teacher, building principal, or the district to use an internet-enabled device for educational purpose during instructional time. When the use is necessary to manage the student's medical condition. So if a student has diabetes and they need their phone to regulate, to look at their sugar levels, they'll need the phone, and we'll need a medical exemption for that. Where the use of an internet-enabled device is part of the student's IEP or 504 plan, when it's needed for translation purposes, on a case-by-case basis upon review and determination by a school psychologist, school social worker, or school counselor for a student caregiver who is routinely responsible for the care and well-being of a family member. There'll be an exception for that. And then when otherwise required by law. We're not sure what that means yet. We're trying to get legal to interpret that for us. Storage during the day. Schools will have the flexibility to create their own storage and implementation plans to ensure a distraction-free environment during the school day. Storage plans will likely be specific to each district. Options for storage include, but are not limited to, student lockers, magnetized pouches for students to carry, like the Yonder pouches, and shared drop boxes like we have for our middle school. Districts may also utilize bins or cubbies. Consideration should be given to securing these devices in a way that would reduce the risk of loss or damage and reduce the risk of potential liability to the district. So there'll have to be a locking mechanism. The policy does not allow for teachers to collect the phones at the door as part of the collection process. Enforcement should be consistent with the code of conduct. The new law specifically prohibits the suspension of a student solely based on the violation of the internet-enabled device policy. So students cannot be suspended for not following the policy. There has to be some or other discipline in line with the code. Now, if you took their phone away and they became violent, then a suspension could be warranted. But solely for the use of the cell phone, there can be no suspension applied to that behavior. There must be a contact method for parents and persons in parental relation. Must be provided with written notification at the beginning of each school year and upon enrollment of how students can be contacted during the school day. There will be new reporting requirements effective September 1st of 2026. Every September 1st thereafter, all districts must publish an annual report on the website detailing enforcement of the policy in the prior school year. The report must include non-identifiable demographic data of students who have faced disciplinary action for non-compliance and analysis of any demographic disparities in enforcement of the policy. If a statistically significant disparate enforcement impact is identified, the report must include a mitigation action plan. So that all has to be included into our policy. So
And we don't track that now?
we do not. No. So there's a lot in this. I know Mr. Arquette has already started looking at some storage devices and some options for that, and what that could look like. The state has allocated $13.5 million to districts for storage device costs. We don't know what that looks like. If we decide to purchase, let's say pouches, would we have to purchase and then get reimbursed? We don't know what that looks like yet. So when you think about 13.2 million, it's a lot, but when you break out how many districts there are in the state and how much the storage devices are, it's really not a lot of money. So we're looking at different options. I know Mr. Arquette has talked to some neighboring districts that have used different options, so we're well into this process. So next month we'll have more of an idea of a detailed report to give you on what we are looking for and what we'll recommend, and then the policy committee, hopefully we'll have a sample policy that we can look at and move forward with and start working on. So that is the update with cell phones.
This would affect elementary also.
It would, it's yep, pre-K through 12. Yep.
How do we think that this is going to affect like the secretaries? Do we think there are going to be more phone calls or more students using phones, or?
I think there'll be more kids coming to the office to use the district phone.
Yeah.
Absolutely throughout the day. As far as enforcement, I don't. We really
No, I
haven't
mean more
had-
for like their workload,
Yeah.
again, managing like more calls in and out and
Yeah.
things
But
like that.
yeah, they could call from a teacher's phone too, right? Teachers have phones.
They do. We prefer they come to the office. That way they're not distracting the classroom.
Put back in the payphone.
What's that?
Put back in the payphone.
Payphone.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Or just a phone.
Yeah.
And are we gonna have to create policies around that of when they're able to go to the office and use phones? Can they like go to a classroom and be like, oh, listen, I just found out, like, softball practice is canceled today now. Are you gonna have a massive flux of the whole softball team at the beginning of science class wanting to
Well, that
go
should
tell their
be,
parents?
that should be sent through parents
Policy.
square anyways.
Yeah.
So they should really have
But
to.
someone's gonna have to call because the I'm just trying to think of,
Yeah. Yeah.
just wondering how the,
There's a lot to work on
Gonna-
Yeah.
logistically. Yep. Yep. And then lastly, we have some board recognition from the New York State School Boards Association that I'm proud to present to Michelle through NYSBA's Board of Excellence Recognition Program, conferring more than 250 points for your ongoing association, professional development, and or accepting additional leadership roles. You have been granted the Board Mastery Award through NYSBA, which includes 1 complimentary training. So
Oh.
congratulations.
Yay.
Jen has been awarded the NYSBA Board Excellence Award through NYSBA's Board of Excellence Recognition Program, conferring more than 150 points for your ongoing association, professional development, and or accepting leadership roles. So congratulations, Jen. And Sung has been awarded the Board Achievement Award through NYSBA's Board of Excellence Recognition Program, conferring more than 75 points for your ongoing association, professional development, and or accepting additional leadership roles. So congratulations, Sung. So thank you all for your ongoing service to the district and the time you put in both here and on your own time. So we appreciate it. So thank you. That's all for me.
Any questions for Bill? That takes us to the administrator's reports. Do we have questions for them?
I think I have one for Heather that was about the Principals Advisory Committee. What did they report back to the cafeteria staff about lunches and stuff? I'm curious what the findings were.
Yeah, it was great. It was really, it was just kind of the highlight of, one of the highlights of the year. So
Yeah.
so we had 2 students fill out the cafeteria or create a cafeteria survey for 3 through 5. So they distributed it to all of the students, and then I compiled the data into, so they asked questions, so most favorites, least favorites, how often they bought lunch, and all kinds of different questions. So then I gave the data back to the two students, and then the advisory committee, we met with Andrea and just had a meeting in the CSE conference room, so at the table. She was able to share with the students all of the different regulations that she has to follow for building school lunches, which the students didn't know, I didn't know. It was just really eye-opening to, better understand all of the different calculations that go into building a menu for the week. So the students were really, really interested in that. And they also gave her some suggestions of things that they would like, and she made notes of them and was going to try to kind of come up with some new lunches and new ideas. So we also, out of that, came up with an idea for maybe a suggestion box that the students could, ongoing communication with the cafeteria. So it was a great meeting. I was really proud of the students. I mean, this was really their, mission and interest, and to see it through.
What was the favorite lunch? Was it pizza?
Italian dunkers,
Oh.
yes, and pizza, but Italian dunkers very high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any form of pizza that you could get. So it was really great. And we have a little list of things that we want to continue next year, but some of which, just some education in the classroom. So the kids were really interested. Like, I don't think other kids know about a lot of the nutrition requirements. So so we have some things we're going to come up with. But it was just really fun.
Just have one question and one comment. For state testing, it went fine when we finally were able to execute that?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then,
Everything was on the state's end, right? It's not
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
all across
It was
the state, right?
extremely widespread despite what the company said. It was widespread enough that the state had to put out, communicated with superintendents about it. They extended the deadline, it was the company's fault.
Twice.
Yeah, twice, 2 days
Yeah.
out.
Well, that's good news that we
Yeah.
finally got them off.
Yep.
And then I just wanted to comment, I heard a lot of good feedback from prom attendees, that they really liked the whole introduction pairing
Oh, wow.
thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to pass that I've heard a lot of buzz about that, so seemed great.
Good.
Anything else for the administrator's report? Athletic report, anything there? Other than lots of raining days?
Golf team won the sectional championship
yeah,
last
saw
night.
that.
I saw
The
that.
last night?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And then
Congratulations.
Dylan was playing
Dylan was
tonight.
playing today in the state qualifier.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
That's exciting.
And the track team has had a number of sectional qualifiers and PRs and
They have their steeplechases Wednesday, the CSC meet is in Waterville on Thursday.
In the rain.
And state qualifiers will be the weekend. It'll be raining.
Yeah. Which track you can run in the rain, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations to all our students. Matt?
Oh,
Nothing.
Whoa.
wow.
8:20, we'll have a report for you.
Student board report, anything that Colin was thinking about or working on, or?
we're gonna meet, SSAC is gonna meet, and start talking about cell phone.
But one thing I know he did is he went to English classes and talked with students of voting age.
Oh, good.
And explained some of the conversations you guys have had and,
Yep.
the whole process and the budget building process.
Yep.
So he was able to share that with other students.
That's great.
And he went over and voted.
Aw,
Yeah,
nice.
very
Love
proud
that.
to do that.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Knowledge share? I have nothing. That's why I looked down the table. I know.
We haven't met
We
for
haven't met yet.
inclusivity, but they're continuing to work on the interviews, right?
They're complete.
Great.
So, I was able, finally going door to door to nail down about 12 seniors.
Nice.
So she interviewed them all, and the
good.
seniors reported back to me that thought it was good. I haven't heard the results yet. We're gonna meet on the 28th, and she's gonna join us virtually and talk to us about it.
So I was like 40, 30, 40% of the class?
There's 40-something.
44.
Yeah,
So,
roughly. So I think we'll build
Pretty good.
momentum though.
Yeah.
They've never heard the term exit interview before. So now we'll get after them earlier next year.
sounds good.
Secondary steering is meeting next week.
Next week.
So no update there. Advocacy?
I just had one thing that actually just came across my email this afternoon from like the Coalition of New York State School Board members. And it's basically like the proposed amendment to the DASA that would include school board members into that policy and actually meetings as well, like board meetings. And so when you're talking about like different policies and things like that, yeah, that would all fall under DASA. So I'd be interested.
As victims of DASA? Okay.
Or violators of DASA. So there's been, downstate, there's been some board meetings with some board members who have been quite vocal regarding some political ideologies, and they felt like they were violating DASA. So State Ed and Letitia James, who is the New York State Attorney General, put together a opinion letter and sent it out to boards stating that board members should fall under DASA, and any violation of DASA, board members could be held liable.
Yeah, and it says like any discussion you have regarding like policies related to like gender identity, things like that could all be DASA violations. And you could, like, it could lead to disciplinary action or even like removal from your position.
Correct.
And like, so it's a lot to this. I have a copy of the letter and I'll forward this to everybody, but just that just came across this afternoon and made me pause for a second.
Yeah, and there is some pushback stating that board members should not be held to those same standards, that they're infringing, that's an infringement on your freedom of speech.
Is there any advocacy that we should do
I don't
for
think
this?
yet. I think it's too new.
Okay.
I'm sure that there will be some position statements put out.
Okay, yeah, they are encouraging you to contact like your
Mhm.
legislators and stuff, but I didn't know if there was any formalized anything yet.
I think it just came out yesterday.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
all right, I'll send
Thanks
this
for
to
s-
everybody.
Yeah,
So
please do.
just something to stay on top of.
But Michelle, I know what you can use your one free training for.
I know,
Right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Record it for us.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
I think if this, we definitely would, I would think it'd be great to do a board workshop if this is the case.
Yeah.
Once it's figured out.
Yeah, I do
yes.
too.
Just to make sure we're not doing anything. Hopefully, we're not already, hopefully we're already compliant. I would hope,
just-
but we're good.
I would
Double
say
check.
DASA. Proposed amendment to DASA. And that's all I have.
Because my worry would be the reporting liabilities, right, whatever, any of those, how does board members put their,
It's
right?
a lot. Like, I was reading this and I was like,
Yeah.
and I honestly, I haven't, it just came out, so
Yeah.
I haven't dug into it, but.
I wrote down the note for board workshop, so we can get that in the work. Once,
Yeah, they'll have to figure it out. I don't,
yeah.
my guess would be there's gonna be some challenges to it for
There
sure,
will be.
but.
Yeah, I think so too. That was it.
Board discussion. Anybody that's watching and hasn't voted yet, please do so before 8 p.m. Board involvement for the end of the year events. We really only have 2 events?
That's what she has so far, yeah.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll have Jody just send out a note when there is something, and whoever can do it, just say yes. We've asked the principals and teachers to let us know if they need us and if they need us to do something, right? So there's 2 roles that we can play. And so the sooner we know about those, the better, so that we can all plan time to come. But likely in most cases it's just one of us, so if somebody can do it or if somebody has a preference on it, make sure you say like, I would prefer this one over other things, that type of thing. Not that anything's, but sometimes some of us have kids involved in certain things, so that's where preference might come through. Commencement, if everybody can be at that, that would be great. If you cannot, it's okay. But for participation, it will be Jen and I handing out diplomas, because we'll stick with the president and vice president doing that. It just keeps it cleaner, one per row for each of us. And moving up ceremony for 5th grade is on the 25th. What's needed for that? Just involvement for handing out?
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know if somebody wants to grab that now.
What's that? No,
The moving up ceremony for 5th grade,
won't be out of town.
June 25th at 12:45.
I won't be,
Day of the week is
Hmm?
I won't be available.
Okay, before.
Wednesday. I can probably do that.
Okay. Amanda will put you down for that, and Jody will get you more information
Okay.
or whatnot from there.
Thank you.
Sure.
So when other things come in, just keep your eye on messages from Jody, and we'll just kind of bounce. If she needs a quick response, I'll send a text, so that we know that we're looking. That brings us to community participation. We still have a couple people in the room, and people online, maybe. 3 whole people watching, but one's probably me. It's a busy night tonight. So if there's anybody that would like to come forward, please do so, and remember our policy. Seeing nobody move, we will be going to, do we need executive session? Yes, that's what I thought,
Mhm.
making sure. There will be no vote after executive session, so we will not be going back online, and so just so that everybody knows that. I need a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss the employment history of particular persons on the focus, but not limited to non-contractual and salaried employees.
Move.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.